Something major just happened, and it's going to affect millions of people across the US, but it's not being explained clearly, and that's a problem. President Trump just won a huge legal victory in the Supreme Court. This isn't just politics, it's a structural shift with real-life consequences. One part of the ruling could even change how birthright citizenship works in America. Seriously. But it doesn't stop there. This decision reshapes how far presidential power can go, and how much the courts can stop it. And we're not talking about theoretical stuff. If you're a parent, a senior, an immigrant, or just someone who follows the rules, this could directly impact your life. So, what actually changed? And why should you care? Stick with me, we're going to break it down. Also, real quick, do you think one judge should be able to block a president's policy for the entire country? Or should that power be limited? Drop your take in the comments. And if you like honest, no drama breakdowns like this, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's next. Here's what went down. The Supreme Court ruled 6-3 that federal district courts can't issue nationwide injunctions, unless it's part of a certified class action. That might sound like legal jargon, but here's the plain English. Lower courts just lost a major tool for stopping federal policies from taking effect nationwide. Which means, Trump's executive order ending birthright citizenship is now active in 28 states, because they weren't part of the lawsuits that tried to block it. Let that sink in. The same child born in California and Arizona might now have different citizenship rights. For over 150 years, if you were born in the US, you were a citizen. Period. That's been guaranteed by the 14th Amendment since the Civil War. Even if your parents weren't citizens, that rule held, up until now. When Trump signed an executive order to end that for kids born to undocumented immigrants or foreign nationals without green cards, lawsuits flew in immediately. Courts in places like Seattle and Maryland called the order unconstitutional, and blocked it nationwide. But now, thanks to the Supreme Court, those blocks only apply to states that joined the lawsuit. So in states that didn't, the policy moves forward. That creates a patchwork of legal rights across the country. And if you're a new parent, that's terrifying. Where you give birth could now change your child's legal status. And this is just the beginning. Other stalled policies could now start rolling out again. That includes voter ID laws, restrictions on diversity programs, and efforts to freeze federal funding for states or programs that don't align with the administration. To be clear, the court didn't say those policies are legal. Just the courts can't block them nationwide right out of the gate anymore. And that gives the White House, especially under Trump, a lot more breathing room to push through changes. Supporters of the ruling say it rebalances power and reins in activist judges who could hold national policy from a single courtroom. Trump called it a win for the Constitution and the rule of law. But critics, like Justice Sotomayor, say it's a blow to civil rights. She warned that if a policy is unconstitutional, it shouldn't be allowed in any state, just because the lawsuit didn't cover all 50. Honestly, both sides kind of have a point. This is the tension. Individual rights versus proper legal process. And now that tension is the new normal. So what happens next? That's unclear. The Trump administration hasn't spelled out how this birthright change will be enforced. Will hospitals ask for immigration status? Will newborns in certain states be denied social security numbers? We don't know yet. What we do know is that legal groups are prepping for a flood of new lawsuits, and a whole lot of chaos. Why? Because we now have a system where federal laws might apply in some states but not others. And this didn't happen out of nowhere. It happened because Congress hasn't updated key immigration or civil rights laws in years. So presidents step in, courts respond, and now, those court responses just got weaker. What does this mean for you? Even if birthright citizenship isn't your issue, the structure of power just changed. This ruling could affect voting rules, healthcare, education access, anything tied to federal policy. If a judge can't block a rule for everyone anymore, then those rules might hit your state first, and hard. That's why this matters. Not just for now, but for what's coming next. So if you've already seen these changes showing up where you live, drop a comment. I want to hear from you. And if this video helped you understand what's really going on, hit like, share it with someone who needs to see it, and don't forget to subscribe. Because this fight over birthright citizenship, it's far from over. But the battlefield just shifted, and we're going to keep following it. Ask ChatGPT.